What do the enemies of America need to do before they are declared to be enemies? A letter from terror-tide CAIR, Minnesota's JAYLANI Hussein, and what he sent to my inbox. Now, before we get to that, let's go over and define the word enemy, Webster's 1828 dictionary. It defines enemy as a foe, an adversary, a public enemy, is one who belongs to a nation or party at war with another. Now, how many organizations in America today are at work openly attempting to overthrow our constitutional republic, which is American government as we know it? This isn't a thing being done in a corner, friends. They are doing what they are doing in the light of day and without fear of consequence. If it is not the Communist Party operating through the likes of the ACLU or the SPLC or the AUSC, then we have Planned Parenthood, which is responsible for the murder of 60 million innocent babies. Or how about now, Muslims operating through the likes of terror-tide CAIR? Yes, I said terrorists. Recently, I received a letter of propaganda from that of Terror-Tide Council on American Islamic Relations, the acronym CAIR, and its operative, JAYLANI Hussein, who also somehow or another sits on the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's Council on Law Enforcement. Yes, you heard me correctly. Let me share with you the content of his letter addressed to me and sent to my personal email box, I'm sure inadvertently. He starts out saying, "Salam and peace, Bradley Dean. In this difficult time, I pray your family is safe and doing well. I want to share a thought with you. American writer and activist Michelle Alexander made a poignant statement in a recent essay. She said, I no longer believe that we can fix the police as though the police are anything other than a mere reflecting back to us the true nature of our democracy." He goes on, we cannot fix the police without a revolution of values and radical change to the basic structure of our society. Now, if you remember rightly, it was Barack Hussein Obama who said before his inaugural address to become the President of the United States of America, again adding the word mysteriously, who said that he was going to fundamentally transform America. Sound familiar?
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
He goes on in his letter. She makes a valid point hiding behind this American writer and activist, friends. Yes, we must work hard to change policies, make police accountable, reimagine and redesign the system. And that is what CAIR Minnesota is working so hard to accomplish. But we also have a revolution of values that radically upends the basic structure of our society. Yes, he really wrote this. Our democracy does not serve the people. It is our democracy. If we want change, we must change our hearts, our minds, and our priorities. JAYLANI Hussein goes on, we must stand by our principles of equality, justice, and freedom for all. Not just stand by, but stand up. We must start with ourselves. CAIR Minnesota strives to educate the public and the policymakers. We are calling people to the principles we believe in, the principles this country was founded upon, the principles that have been lost to privilege and denial. We work from the outside in through the justice system and lobbying, and the inside out by educating hearts and minds and reminding the people what justice looks like and why it matters for all of us. So let me get this right. Terror-Tide CAIR and its operative, JAYLANI Hussein, who sits on the Governor's Council on Law Enforcement, is trying to get rid of the police. By the way, he is attempting to hide out behind Michelle Alexander, which is a revelation of his true intentions. He attacks the law that he's appointed to uphold and wants to tear it down and establish a foreign law in place of American law. JAYLANI Hussein stated, we cannot fix the police without a revolution of values and radical change to the basic structure of our society. He also stated, she makes a valuable point. Yes, we must work hard to change policies, make police accountable, reimagine and redesign the system. And that is what CAIR Minnesota is working so hard to accomplish, he said. But we must also have a revolution of values that radically upends the basic structure of our society. Remember, Terror-Tide CAIR and its operative from Texas, Mustafa Carroll, said that Muslims are above the law of the land and Sharia law supersedes the U.S. Constitution. Also note that JAYLANI HUSSEIN referred to America as a democracy. Just for the record, we are a constitutional republic, Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. Also take note that JAYLANI HUSSEIN is spending much of his time trying to make Christians in the state of Minnesota enemies to the state. He even went so far to equate evangelical Christians to that of the KKK at one of his little meetings that he had at St. Cloud University, in which I attended. What do these subversives need to do for Americans to understand that these people are at war with them? Friends, so you understand, at the Sons of Liberty, we are not merely talking about the problems, we are also legally confronting them as well. We have even taken the time by giving them the opportunity to tell the nation on sonsoflibertyradio.com for which it is that they are advocating for. We have invited such groups and politicians as Senator Cory Booker, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Rob Boston from, get this, Americans United for Separation of Church and State, which you can find in no founding documents, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, former Senator Al Franken, Terrell Clark, who was an opponent to Michelle Bachmann, who was running for Congress, the Minnesota Independent, who relentlessly attacked my ministry, the GLBT, the same thing. Mysteriously, we can't get a hold of the GLBT. Council on American Islamic Relations, as I just highlighted, Joe Solemna's Human Rights Campaign, out front in Minnesota, Kevin Jennings, Assistant Deputy Secretary for Safe and Drug-Free Schools under the U.S. Department of Education, of that of Barack Hussein Obama. Westboro Baptist Church, the fix is in. The new Attorney General, Keith Ellison. San Francisco Police Department concerning the crimes of Larry Brinken. Media Matters, Right Wing Watch. Folks, these people will take the time to attack the truth of the Word of God and the U.S. Constitution, but they won't come to show the people in which it is that they advocate for. Every single request that we have made concerning these individuals have been denied. Why, you may ask? It's because they are subversive to the United States Constitution. They know it, and so do you. Friends, everything they do publicly is first scripted and then promulgated. In other words, it is controlled propaganda, and they are getting away with it with the help of the mainstream media and the corrupt politicians that are merely tolerated. Let me ask you again, what is it that the enemies of America need to do before they are declared to be enemies to America?